Hello, and welcome to the fifth episode of Twitch to YouTube. I am Outlawman76. Today we have a conversation with SilentDrkAngel. We have one of the most unique conversations I think we've had on this series thus far, and I'd like to say thank you to SilentDrkAngel for agreeing to be on the show and for bringing her very unique perspective and more unique aspects to this episode. Of course, if you like what I'm putting out and the content that we produce here, please consider subscribing, hitting like, and if you want notifications, ding the bell, and you'll get a ring when videos come out. Here now is the conversation with SilentDrkAngel. And welcome into the conversation portion of the episode. I am here with Dark Angel. I almost called you Silent Dark Angel. Hello, how are you? Oh, didn't hear.
Fine.
There you go. Microphone. So I just want to point out, I pointed it out to you a little bit before, that you talked yesterday about people trolling you, and you pulled off a
Right.
massive troll on this episode by doing the interview outdoors, basked in the
Well,
fresh air that you tell us to go get, and we react so harshly to. But
I
thank
don't even know why you guys react so harshly to getting out fresh air. There's nothing wrong with getting fresh air. You get to see all this lush greenery,
Yeah, but see,
breathe in.
I'm in New York City. If I had been out there as long as we've been so far, I'd have been robbed at least 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean,
it's a
sounds more like a you problem.
it's a safety thing. It's a fight or flight. All right. So uh, the format of the show, as you've seen probably before, is there's some standard questions that I ask everyone, and then there's specified questions. We've actually got a special little segment this episode specifically for you, is questions from the audience that we'll get into as we go along. Um, so we'll start with the first question, which is the standard question, which is the easiest question. It's all about a name. How did you come up with the name Silent Dark Angel?
So that happened when I first, I guess, made an online handle way back when, like AIM days. And at that time, there was a show that was airing called Dark Angel with, I think, an actress called named Jessica Alba. So I tend to, I think I liked that show quite a bit at the time. Can't remember
I
any of
hope
the
so.
episodes now. But I like the name enough.
Mm.
But however, whenever I was online, I would either lurk or like I wouldn't say that much. So I just put the handle or the name silent in front of it because I think Dark Angel was like taken quite a bit here and there,
Yeah.
even in the earlier days. So I just put Silent Dark Angel because I figured it was unique enough that it wouldn't be taken everywhere. And lo and behold, I just stuck with it.
And it's become a global brand. Uh,
Oh, what?
um, so, how did you get started on Twitch? What made you decide to start streaming?
um, okay. So this was I remember gaming with my girlfriends a game called Don't Starve Together.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then we would just crack up laughing about random shit we would say. And I would always say, one day I might just stream all this so that we can capture this for longevity, I guess. And it's always stuck with me that every time I played games or every time I hung out with friends in that manner, we would always have good times. And those moments would be lost and only kept in my memory, which is already so fleeting because I suck at remembering stuff. So I wanted to keep recordings. And then I also wanted to, I guess, share with other people about them too. So I was like, I guess Twitch would be a good platform. Back in, I think, December of 2019 was
Mm-hmm.
when I started my
Mm.
first few streams. But prior to that, I actually, the first time I was online in public eye was on a friend's stream, Carmichael, and he was streaming Resident Evil. And he was playing the game on cam, and I was a guest cam, I guess, for my reactions. And as I was, this is why I never play horror games. Every time you would look back at the video,
Mm.
I probably would have sunken into my chair even lower and lower as the stream went on, because I'd get even more creeped out of the game. And to the point where like, oh, I should probably try and stay in cam because I'm trying almost like falling out of view. Um, but that was the first time. And then I was asking him what platforms would be good. And he was streaming on two platforms, which was Twitch and Mixer at the time. I thought about going on to Mixer, but then that didn't pan out because Mixer closed down.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, we'll do Twitch then.
Mm.
And so, yeah, it was probably December 2019 that all started.
No, I could say that we're all glad that it did start because obviously, look at where we are now. Um,
Where are we now? I don't even know why you wanted. Okay, Jay Outlaw Man asked me to do this interview, and
that's me
I said,
for
why?
those who don't know. I've just been doxxed. Go on.
Sorry, my
I'm
bad.
just kidding. I'm just screwing with you.
Well, everybody knows also to call me Goldie
Yeah.
because I also knew that being online and wanting to play with friends, my name would come out regardless. There was no way that I could tell all my friends just to remember not to call me Goldie.
Mm.
It's been ingrained in them to call me Goldie for how long now? So
Yeah.
they're not just going to automatically change that, right? So I was like, okay, it's fine. Just call me Goldie online. I mean, it's just one name. It should be fine. So
Yeah.
that's why when I introduce myself, it's like SilentDrkAngel, also known as Goldie. But yeah, sorry.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, but it actually leads into the next question very well. Sort of dovetails into the next question, if you will. So, you just, as you said, you didn't know why I'd ask you to be on this show, which is kind of. I'm going to read some statistics. You have 178 followers, but you also. I mean,
Mm.
statistics is not really the right word. But you have 178 followers. You don't have any moderators that I've seen. If very maybe one or two, but I haven't seen many of them. You used to have a followers only chat. I think you took that off.
I still do, no.
Okay, so
So I'm pretty sure the only reason why I had that many followers to begin with is because I went on followers only. And the reason why I went on followers only is not because I want followers. It's because I get very nervous about strangers
mm-hmm.
popping into chat. And given I guess, the environment that's happened lately, I didn't really want to, invite that freely.
Yeah,
So I went into followers only just because it was more of a safeguard for me. Also, bots don't tend to spam follower only chats. And
yeah,
so far, it's worked pretty well. Although I'm saying this now, and if this goes live and then people like try to test that, this is going to suck. But I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why that follower count is high as it is, even though it's not really that high.
okay,
Um, and then I don't employ any mods. Actually, the mods that are in there are just two bots, which is the bot Fletbot, which does a lot of shout outs and stuff,
mm-hmm.
and my own bot that does like personal commands. So no, I don't have any mods. I do have one one friend that has access to help me out if needs be, but I don't require him to do that. I just require him to just chill and just have fun.
Right.
Can you hear the singing in the background?
I cannot actually.
Okay, that's
So,
good.
oh, noise
I think
cancellation.
there's a concert going
Oh
on
well,
somewhere.
yeah, that's actually good. Musical, as long as there's no DMCA strikes. But yeah, so you've
Yeah.
answered two parts of the question. You sort of react uniquely to raids, as we will. Yeah, you.
Okay,
It's
so
just my my
go on.
my general question is your approach to streaming. You are not like you do have a community, but yet you don't raid off, and you, as I say, react uniquely to
Ah,
raids. You sort of have the
yeah.
no mods, the followers only, all these things. So just your your approach to streaming. Like, what is streaming to you that makes you choose these sort of settings?
Okay. So to begin with your first question or your second question of why I started streaming, I use Twitch in a very different manner than most, I think, who are
Mm-hmm.
on that platform. I don't I'm not in it for the money,
Mm-hmm.
plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, that's why even though I reach all the affiliate goals, I have not turned that on.
Right.
And I never will. Um, Purely because one, I don't want to deal with writing out all that taxes and stuff. And two, um, I don't, I'm okay. I have a full-time job. I don't need the extra cash, right? I live within my means and that's that. I'm on Twitch purely partially to use it as a video archive. Just so that I can have my gaming recorded online somewhere, interact with a few people, I guess, and just have it somewhere that I can pull it off and then pull the video off and then just save it somewhere for, when I want to watch them again or remember playing certain videos or maybe like certain funny things that happen and then I can go back and like, oh yeah, that did happen. It's kind of cool, whatever, right?
Mm.
So um that's that's one reason why 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 when people raid me, I'm like, why? But okay, so I only say why to those who are in the community that you and I know.
Mm-hmm.
When strangers raid me for the reason because either they were playing the same game or I don't know, somebody suggested them that they raid me, which again, why? But okay. Um, I try to do a normal introduction of who I am, what I'm playing, yada yada. But otherwise, if it's like a community member that I know who loves to troll me or meme at me, I would just say why because like, dude, like I'm just being me here. I'm just a normal person, just streaming. So thanks for coming in. Chill if you want to, but we all know that you just finished streaming and you probably just want to dip out and eat or sleep or whatever. So that's cool. And you just want to leave your peeps somewhere. But dude, I'm pretty sure there's more entertaining people that you can leave them with than me. But okay. Um, and then why I don't raid after. Well, since because we are outside in the fresh air, and not always glued to our phones or screens or TVs. That's another reason why I don't raid. I don't want to leave people to another thing that they can just sit and stare at a screen for another few hours. Who knows how long that'll be?
Mm.
Like how long have they already been sitting there watching me
Yeah.
doing whatever I'm doing, right? I want them to get out. I want them to look at something else. I want them I want them to be active. Um, it's so important now, especially during COVID and everything. Everybody's cooped up indoors, and I know a lot of people have been itching to get out and itching to be active. The thing is, they just need to be safe about it.
Yeah.
And going out in the outdoors here, like there's barely anybody around me, and everybody either stays like 2 meters apart or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
it's fine. But I do want people to get out. So that's why I don't raid. Um, That'll never happen. If that were to ever happen, it would be it would have to be something really special. Um, but no, yeah.
And
Did I answer your
yeah,
question?
you did. You did. And I'm actually
Okay.
you answered my question, and in part you will allow me to answer your question as to why I wanted you here, because of that unique view. There's you're the only person I know that has these sort of, you have a unique approach to Twitch, a very unique approach to Twitch that I've yet to find anywhere else. And I feel like people should see this, and people should see that streamers are not all of one color. They they are
True.
they are those who are not, as you say, glued to your screens, and you encourage, even if it is filthy fresh air, you encourage it, and all that stuff. Now it's time to bring in a question from the audience. It's actually
No, oh my God. Okay, first, hold on. I can't even believe anybody actually. Okay, we said yeah, sure. I'll accept questions from it, but why would anybody want to ask me anything that they can't even just ask me on stream anyway? Why do they have to ask me now? So I'm partially pretty sure these questions you're gonna ask me are all very memey
actually they're not.
towards what I deal with on stream. But okay, if you say so,
It's a
I
fair
guess we'll
mix. I
get
will say
to
that
it.
there is some meme questions, and we'll get to that towards the end. We'll end on sort of a bit of a memey, trolly kind of way, and hopefully a happy, laughy way. But this question is
Sure.
actually, I read it as a serious question, and it's actually
Okay.
follow up. It actually dovetails, as I said, with the question that was before. So I'm going to read it verbatim. Um,
Okay.
You've iterated how you prefer to stay a quote small streamer. As such, avoid facets of channel growth where possible, as we discussed. Taking into account that growth is a natural part of Twitch, what keeps you coming back to streaming on Twitch as opposed to, for example, streaming and recording on Discord, where you have much more control over your community?
I actually do stream on Discord. However, it's not as often, I guess. Um, Nothing, sorry. I was just watching a passerby
It,
just
we,
to
s-
scream out loud.
we see them in the
Did you
background.
hear it?
No, we didn't hear them, but
Oh,
we saw
okay.
them.
Oh, okay. Um, what makes me why Twitch?
Yeah, instead of
It's just
Discord, where you can sort of control the atmosphere more, and there is no real, as you say, as the
the thing
question
is,
says, you go on.
okay. So one of the reasons is because the only people that are in the Discord right now are those that I've shared that link to those that I've met on Twitch,
Mm,
and also some personal friends. So Twitch was more of I wanted to, I guess, partially wanted to find good people,
mm,
I guess.
yeah,
I guess more quality viewers in terms of maybe like-minded friends later, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you. Okay, look, I found you on Twitch. You found me, sorry.
yeah,
We found each other,
yeah.
whatever. So and now you're in my Discord, and like every now and then, you know that I like either stream my work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I gotta stop these sentence fillers. Stop saying like, stop saying whatever. Okay. All right. Um, so it's like I found you on
Right.
Twitch.
Yes.
And if I never found you on Twitch, then you wouldn't be in my Discord and I wouldn't be streaming random graphic designer or programming work or what have you on
Right.
there. Um, I actually never tried to use OBS with Discord to stream. I guess I could. It just didn't occur to me, just
Mm,
because Twitch is such a huge platform
right.
as it is.
Yeah.
And there's so much documentation out there on how to do it in that way. Um, I suppose Discord is a platform in its own, but when I first started using Discord, it was purely just a communication device or communication app.
Right.
It was for gamers to communicate with other gamers during gaming. Um, it was either just like, yeah, it was like your, oh, what were they called?
Chat rooms.
Um, no, there were old. I'm having a brain fart. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
TeamSpeak.
Ah.
Back in the day, there was TeamSpeak.
Right.
There were other apps like that, but then Discord just seemed to be much more, a lot better,
Yeah.
like leaps and bounds
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
as technology progressed, right?
Yeah.
So since that's the idea that I originally had with Discord, that's how it kind of remained in my brain. Whereas Twitch was the platform in which you did engage with viewers and chat with them while you play games or what have you. So I guess that's the reason why I keep going back to Twitch.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more of just how my brain separates them out.
And you thought it'd be Mimi questions. Uh, and it,
I still do think that at some point, I'm sure.
oh yes, that shoe will drop. That's for sure. But there's another question. Actually, so two questions that I've got were very similar, so I sort of combined them together into one question. Essentially, it boils down to a favorite moment or moments while streaming.
I don't know. You put me on the spot because now I have to. I told you my memory's not that great. I'd actually have to go back through VODs to find out one of my favorite memories was when one of our, I don't know if the word is prominent viewers throughout our community
Mm.
had agreed to co-stream to co-play a game with me. So my channel is mostly comprised of a lot of gameplays of puzzle games and co-op games
Mm.
because um, another thing about streaming on Twitch is that when you find people that like similar games, then you can kind of gauge on who else you can co-op play with. And I think one of the struggles I had in my life for gaming is that I saw a lot of co-op games that I wanted to play, but it required you to play with another person.
Yeah.
And a lot of the friends I have in real life are more sporty people,
Mm.
are more they're not really gaming people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I have to find some more gaming people to play with me these games I want to play. Um, so that was another great thing about Twitch. So now I have a community in which I can draw from to ask people if they want to play a game with me. And I guess the added benefit for them is that if they're a streamer, then it's also already a stream, so it gives them more exposure, I guess, per
Right.
se. Although it is my stream, so I don't know how much exposure that
The
really
most
is, but
exposure.
whatever. Okay. Right. So my favorite memory was as I was looking for somebody to play with, I found a cute game called Biped. And there was a person that I really wanted to play with, but he was so elusive in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get. Yeah. So I was like, let me just ask him and see what he says. Even if he says no, it's fine. So I asked him. He's like, I wouldn't mind doing that. I'm like, really? Really? You know what this entails, right? Because I've done co-op games before on stream with other people, and they have their own cam um, in the stream,
Yeah.
and it's me and them, and then the game. And I'm like, you have to say stuff in the stream, right? Really? So he's like, yeah, it's cool. He was okay to do it. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I was very, I guess, flustered a bit because I'm like, oh, this is one of the coolest things for me in a very long time. I don't know. So, and then as the day came closer to that day, I have a way in which those who don't want a cam, there's a voice visualizer that will like just stop saying like, that will create sound waves of their voice when they speak in Discord so that at least there's some sort of visualization of the person I'm playing with. So I told this person, I don't even know if I should, am I, do,
It's
I don't like name dropping.
I mean, the person who's watching knows. Everybody who's watching knows who they are. I mean, so you might as well.
Okay, so Flatman, who was a streamer, sorry, the person I asked, said yes. And then as the day came closer, um, I said, hey, it's okay if you don't want to do a cam. I do have that voice visualizer. He's like, no, I think I'll be okay. I'm like, what? Really? Really? The whole thing happened again. Really? Okay. So this was actually, I think it was his first face reveal too on that stream, because a lot of the people in the community dropped by. Actually, I'm pretty sure that was one of the highest viewing ones. But okay, so that's the thing. Like they all came because they wanted to see Flatman, and it's not necessarily me. Okay, I'm just saying it's just it's who I have on that people want to see and they love them and it's cool, right? So whatever. Anyways, that was actually a really great stream because I laughed my ass off. He
Yeah.
trolled me so bad. He kicked my character off countless numbers of cliffs and laughed.
I'm sure he would say that gravity had more to do with it than he
Uh-huh.
did. He just applied a little
Uh-huh.
force or something. He would sciencey way. But no, Flatman is one of the kindest human beings, but he's also very elusive, so you kind of don't really know. It's sort of a mystery until you actually approach him, and then you find out he's, just like really one of the coolest, kindest people. We're trying to actually get him to be the first non-streamer interview on this show. So
I hope you get it.
yeah, I
Let's
think
see.
people would be really interested. But you mentioned co-ops. You do a lot of co-ops, and you mentioned sort of the why you do it. But how do you choose the games and who to play what game with? Like, take us through that process of like,
Oh,
this
okay.
person is good for this game, or maybe this person will be fun with this game, etc., etc.
So, I played, I think one of my earlier co-op games was it A Way Out? A Way Out I did with
The bicycle game,
Solo, OMG.
Knights and Bikes.
Oh,
That was
Knights
my
and Bikes.
first
Yes.
uh, memory of your co-ops with Solo.
Okay. So Solo and OMG and I are actually friends in real life. I'll name drop that one because she deserves it.
Yes,
Love that girl.
yes,
Um,
100%.
so um, when I was looking at Knights and Bikes, and it wasn't even out yet, one of the characters in there was very much like her. And then the other character is like, oh, that is kind of like me. So obviously that was perfect for me to figure out who I wanted to play that one with.
Right.
Also, because it was earlier in my Twitch days, I guess. Um, she was already streaming at that time too. So I was like, okay, she's already comfortable with being on face cam because she streams herself. So yeah, we can just do this together. So that was that process and why I chose her to stream with. Other co-op. So your first question was, how do I find these co-op games? Well, Steam has a lovely algorithm that given what's in my library of co-op games, it will suggest to me other co-op games, and so that's pretty much how I find my games. That or any like E3 conferences of games that are coming out that might seem kind of cool to play. I take it from there, just note them down, stick them in my wish list. That's how I find games. Your other question was, how do I figure out who to play with? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so one of the recent co-ops was Operation Tango,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose a certain streamer to stream that with me because, again, I had already done a bunch of at least 2 co-op streams with Solo, so I wanted to mix it up, play with other people, obviously. I asked him to do it because he was also a streamer, because I knew for a fact that I needed the other side to be streamed because the game has separate views depending on which character you play.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Knights and Bikes was all in the same screen
Yeah.
where you see both characters. Also, A Way Out was a split screen where you see both characters in one screen, which is fine. However, Operation Tango, you only see your side that you're playing, whereas the other player is seeing a completely different
Mm-hmm.
view of what's going on their side. So I needed a streaming to
Right.
do that because they also needed to stream at the same time their side so that the whoever's watching who wants to watch both sides can get both views at the same time. So that's how I determined that. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Well,
hope that answers your question.
it does.
However, there is sometimes certain people will ask me certain games to play with them. I don't know how we came up between you and me, but you and me, we play Keep
I'm
Talking.
doing air quotes right now because it's been a while, so I'm just gonna keep trolling you with that part. Go on.
It's only been a while. Okay. Outlaw Man and I play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It's a very awesome puzzle game of bomb defusal.
Mm-hmm.
And with it, if there was actually a screen portion for your side rather than papers, like I would have asked you to stream it
Yeah.
as well, the same way that I did with BB. However, Outlaw Man plays my bomb defusal expert, and I play the person who's in the most danger of defusing the bomb. And Outlaw Man actually just flips through a lot of papers. So I guess I could get you to put a cam towards your desk, and people can see how many papers you're flipping through and what you're reading towards for me.
Yeah.
Um, but otherwise, I mean, it's just you and me on my stream, trying not to blow up.
Well, I'm safe. You're in danger. But so a little behind the scenes that I will reveal is that we actually before we actually streamed the first episode, we did set up a multi Twitch link and everything, and we did look into it. But then just like you said, it came to the realization it's just going to be me rereading papers, which, I mean, listen, I have a Hollywood face, but that's not as entertaining as one would seem. So we just do it that way. But no, it's actually pretty cool. It's fun, and whenever we get back to it, we get back to it, and it'll be fun.
Okay. We will get back to it. I swear to you. It's just we got so far into the game where the last few stages of it are really hard, and there's not enough time to defuse certain aspects of that bomb before, we can carry on. And so I was telling you that I just need to train off stream for a little while, and then when I get better, we can get back into it,
I know.
which will happen.
I just had to troll you. As I troll you, we head into more questions from the audience and the more me sort of side of things. This first question comes from a certain howdy partner, a certain Blue Thunder. So because he did tell me that I could let you know that it was from him. It's somewhat memey, but it's also there's actually some truth behind it, or maybe seriousness behind it, I would say.
Okay.
Yes, how much do you enjoy us, meaning your community, setting up a camp after your stream when she doesn't drop us off in a raid? So for those who give a little context for those who don't know, since as Goldie said before, she doesn't raid. People like myself, Flatman, Blue Thunder, and a few others will sit and still chat in her stream, in her chat, and call it a little camp after she goes off. So how much do you get a kick out of that little aspect?
30. Like, I enjoy it 70% of the time, but then 30% I'm like, dude, I told you guys to go get a break and look at other stuff. You're still looking at a screen typing. It's like, this is counterproductive, and this is the reason why I don't raid people, and yet you're still here. Why are you still here? But it is nice to interact with them after stream and just talk in the chat, because it's just basically like a chat.
Yeah. It's almost like a group text.
Yeah. It's just the group text, pretty much. I get that they stick around. It's kind of nice that they do. Plus, it makes me feel special.
It's
until they start memeing at me, RGB and shit. Oh my god, please go somewhere else.
Well, I have another question, and I think the wording of this question may lead you to know who the author is. So
Okay.
I will. I'm going to read it again for verbatim. And they have sourcing too. As documented in the formula E equals HF, a photon's energy is directly proportional to its frequency. Taking into account that light we perceive as, quote, white is a combination of frequencies across the visible spectrum, it stands to reason that it takes more energy to produce white light than it takes to produce monochromatic light such as red, green, or blue.
God. Okay.
With this in mind, how do you justify calling RGB lights a waste of money when they're scientifically proven to be more energy efficient and therefore more cost effective than plain white lights? And for those who don't know, a little context to why there's such a face palm right now. SilentDrkAngel is almost on a vendetta against RGB, and there we do troll her with RGB, as is this question. So the crux of the question is scientifically proven to be more cost efficient. So how do you justify calling it a money waste?
No. no. The amount of money you spend right off the bat to get no, no, no. Okay, no. I can't even. All right. I don't know why this bugs me so much. It's just I see my friends making all these computers, like building these computers or buying these computers based on our. They buy these computers based on the light. Like why? You know, this they no. All right. So I don't have any RGB in my computers. I turn all that shit off, even if it's built in, because one, it's hella distracting. I even have a friend who who has a keyboard that every button you press, it spreads out to the other keys. It's so distracting when you're typing.
I mean, that sounds kind of cool.
No, you just need a keyboard to type, to communicate. You don't need these lights. This extra fluff is not needed. Not needed. The computer doesn't go any faster. Okay, it doesn't work any more efficiently with these lights. Okay. So the community trolls me with RGB. Which it's actually gotten to the point. I do want to actually point this out that sometimes they put the rainbow kappa
Hmm.
to 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 trigger me with RGB. And whenever I give a face of disapproval of that particular emote, I worry that some people might think that I'm like against LGBT groups, which I'm not.
Yeah.
It's more of what the community knows that they're trying to trigger me with is RGB in that emote, not so much the fact like, you know, rainbow colors kind of represent L too many acronyms. Oh my God. But you know what I'm saying.
I do. I do. I
So,
think everybody listening does. And I think this is a call to action. Streamers, get RGB emotes, and this community may sub just to troll Goldie, and it solves both
no,
issues. So just
no,
putting that out there if you're a streamer who
no.
has control of emotes.
I even have my bot listening for any trigger words that start with RGB just to like put it in there. Like, stop. It it doesn't. It's not helpful.
It adds to the
It's not
10.
helpful to your computer.
It adds a 10% coolness buff.
It doesn't though. And then when these rooms are just pure lights flashing in the background, red, green, blue. Next question, please.
So, the same question from the same author, but less Mimi. Um, it's actually, this is more of a serious question, I would say. If you were able to give one piece of advice to your viewers, what would you give them? Just general life advice, or maybe if they want to get into Twitch or something of that nature. Just advice. What advice would you give them?
One piece. I can't give one blanket piece of advice. Normally, I just, depending on the person and if they have anything that they want to know or say, they just ask me and I give out my advice freely to whoever feels the need to want my opinion. Not sure why, but okay. Um, I guess advice, just be yourself. I mean, I guess so. When you see Twitch streamers online and what their personality is like, you can't really tell if they're putting on a show
Mm.
or if they are who they are. And then if you're getting attached to them because of what you see on Twitch, what if you do meet them in real life or something and you
Mm.
find out that that persona is not the same as the one that you know on Twitch? Um, and then you end up having these expectations that you get disappointed or what have you. I mean, it could go to the better too. They could be really shy on Twitch, but then when they're in person, they're really outgoing and friendly, and you like that. Like, there's there's different things, but I guess partially it's easy to be yourself in front of a camera, mostly because you're not looking at another face.
Mm.
So you don't, you're not, um, you're not looking for facial cues or body language or anything that might seem like they might be judging you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you are kind of free to act and be a certain way um, in that respects.
Yeah.
But also, I guess also when you meet new people, they say the first impression is the most important,
Mm.
but I don't think you should put like all your very best in a first impression. Obviously, you don't want to be a jerk,
Yeah.
but um, I would say just try and be yourself because the person who who because those who meet you and your first impression is just yourself, they're not going to be stunned the next day when they slowly get to know you even better and
Mm-hmm.
suddenly your personality changes
Right.
to who you really are,
Right.
you know. Just represent yourself right off the bat as who you are. Then, they won't be surprised later.
Yeah.
Sure, that is my advice, the general blanket advice to anybody watching, I guess.
Well, that's actually very,
Um,
very good advice and very sage wisdom, if I may say so, because I sort of say the same thing. Because when you put up a facade, that can only last for so long. I mean, sociopaths, I guess, can sort of keep it going forever, but most normal people tend to revert to habits when they feel comfortable. So when
mhm,
if you put up sort of this personality or front, if you will, facade, etc., when you get comfortable with the people around you, more of your true self will come out, and then that's where you
mhm.
can you can get problems sometimes. People are like, "Hey, I didn't know you like to twerk weirdly on the wall. Why are you doing that now? That was not something you did when we first met." So,
Whereas if you attract people who like you, like seeing people twerk on the wall, then hey, that's your group.
there you go. There's your tribe. So, I've recorded episodes 6 and 7 before this, and I started asking this question as sort of the final question. It was kind of answered earlier, so I'm going to ask it a little different way. Because
Okay.
I know the answer is the stream with Fletman would be biped as your probably as your favorite stream, right? If that's fair enough to say. Other than that
So,
stream, taking that stream out, tell us your favorite
okay.
stream.
Um, I have I have a lot of funny moments and favorite moments in a lot of different streams.
I mean,
Like, for example, when I streamed Way Out with Solo,
mm-hmm,
it started showing
mm-hmm.
a little bit of the naked parts. I'm like, oh my God, this is TOS. I need to turn this off. That was one of my favorites. I don't I wouldn't necessarily say it was my favorite stream, but when I tried to do Rocksmith
Mm-hmm.
and then you came in with your little tidbit of knowledge of how to remember the order of the chords, like that was a favorite moment. Um, Maybe the only ones that come to mind right now are streams with me and Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Nights and Bikes was pretty
Mm-hmm.
fun because we were just being ourselves.
Yeah.
The thing is, unfortunately, every time I have great streams of playing games, I ignore chat. So bad. I really do try to look over at chat and answer questions, but I'm really sorry when I do ignore you guys. It's only because I'm really into the game. And, or I'm really into whatever puzzle I'm trying to figure out. I'm so sorry. I can't apologize enough about that. Um, yeah,
I
I hope that answered.
It does, and I was as I was thinking to myself earlier, prepping for this interview, I wondered how you would react to this question because so far it's in episodes 5, 6, and 7, and it's going to be the final question going forward. I've yet to get a answer that lists just one stream. I get
Mm,
moments or a list of a bunch, or so it's just interesting how that works out. But no, I love the Rocksmith stream. That was the clip of me imparting my knowledge.
That's yeah, but that was so cringe in terms of I I I can't remember to play the guitar. So when I struggled through that game, I felt like I was wasting people's time. I was like, man, I really should just do this on my own. But let's be honest, if I didn't put myself out in public, I wouldn't be it just kind of holds me accountable to actually do the game.
Mm,
And when I'm off screen, I'm doing other stuff and not playing that game, going out or whatever. So if I set a schedule, okay, I'm going to be online, I'm playing this game, that holds me accountable to actually do it
yeah,
and learn this game
yeah,
and play it, right?
yeah.
So maybe that's another reason why I'm on Twitch is just to be accountable to actually do stuff.
And I also feel like I know you mentioned cringe or whatever, but I feel like as a viewer, and I can only give a perspective as a viewer in this case, it sort of creates moments of sort of communal bonding, if you will. For example,
Yeah,
watching you and Solo play Knights and Bikes, and I forget the machine, I think it was Solo or you, someone just kept going into like the dragon's mouth and getting
that
killed or
would be
whatever.
Solo.
Yeah,
And she went up the dragon's butt.
yeah, there you go. And the Rocksmith moment, or the moment when you're playing with Flatman, or any of these other kinds of moments. It's a bonding sort of thing with the community, and it brings people closer together as friends. So, and to the chat thing about like sort of ignoring it for a little bit, I kind of find it kind of interesting because I leave little troll bombs in there, and I'll chat something trolly, and I'll just wait, and it's just like you just sit in anticipation, waiting of when you're gonna read the chat, and then get the little troll bomb to come out. So I enjoy that.
No, I'm glad you do. I know one of my friends was like, uh, said to me, you don't have to read all the chat. And I know I don't have to go back. It's just I'm curious about
Yeah,
what you guys were saying, so that's why I'll scroll back and try and catch up. Or, you guys are somewhat important. Like whatever you're saying, there's a reason why you said it, you wrote it in chat.
mm,
And I feel like I should read it if there was a reason why you wrote it there.
yeah,
So that's also why I try to go back and capture it. But if I do miss anything, I do.
yeah. But that you have survived the interview.
Mm.
That was the final question. Thank you, Silent Dark Angel Goldie, for being here, and thank you for bringing us definitely, certainly not just by location, but by perspective and by who you are. One of the most unique episodes of this show. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being on, and I hope it wasn't a horrifying experience for you that will leave you scarred.
No, you made it pleasant enough that I'm okay with this.
Thank you. There you go. Pleasant enough. I'll take it. Thank you so much again, Silent Dark Angel, and I will be back with the conclusion of this episode. Thanks again to Silent Dark Angel.
Take care of you.
And that was a conversation with Silent Dark Angel. I think one of the most unique conversations we've had, not just because of where the conversation was held, but of course because of her unique views and approach to streaming and all other aspects of things like that. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed having the conversation, as much as I enjoyed recording it, and I believe as much as she had being on the show. Next episode will be the interview with Justified Karma, and I think it's going to be a very interesting episode, and I hope that you stick by and watch it. Of course, as always, if you like the video and the content that I produce, please consider hitting the subscribe button, leaving a like, and if you're so inclined, hitting the bell, and you'll get a ring or a ding when these videos come out. Until next time, this is episode 5. Thank you so much. Be safe and be well.